and you decided to go in the wrong direction. You are on the motorway. Two signs there. One say dead end. Road is blocked. There is a pit. Flashes all over. Signs, danger, danger. And the other sign saying safe. You went that direction. Whom should we blame? The policeman? No. That was your choice. God Almighty is just. He sent to you messengers. And the messengers came and He gave you the message. This is the right path. This is the straight. This is the safe way. You go, you tread on this way, you will reach your destination safely. And this is the way of the devil. It's up to you. And God knows that. I always give that example of the teacher and the headmaster. Remember? If the headmaster came, if he comes at the end of the semester and asked one of the teachers, what do you think of the result is going to be? What do you think? What do you expect? He said, this guy is getting distinction. This guy is getting to have B's, C's, F's. Because the teacher, he knows his students, he knows his pupils. So let's say now the headmaster said, I trust you, announced the result without giving them exam. The one who failed will object, right? Say, sir, but you didn't give me an exam. You didn't test me, so why did you fail me? And he has a valid point. You understand? And he can sue the teacher and the headmaster as well. But now, let's say that the headmaster, he wrote the result on a piece of paper, put it in the table, in the drawer, locked it, and gave them the exam. And the result came the same. Are you following? Can now the one who failed will come and say, sir, I failed because you wrote on that piece of paper that I'm going to fail. Are you going to accept his objection? Does he have any valid point? Did the writing of the teacher interfere or contributed to his failure? Or he failed because he didn't work hard? Tell me. He failed because he did not study. So similarly, God Almighty, He wrote, He knows. But He did not. He didn't force you to commit the sin. When you committed the sin, you committed it according to your own free will. Are you following? So you cannot then say, well, God, you wrote that I am going to sin, so that's why I sinned. No, God wrote you are going to sin because He knows. Like yes, the teacher. He wrote because He knows you. Then you cannot use that as an excuse. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. So here, when he asked about the qadar, he told him, believe me, God will not accept anything from you until you believe that everything happens, Allah knows about it. Because if God doesn't know that this is what is going to happen in His kingdom, is He God? Because we say God Almighty He knows everything. Nothing is hidden from Him. So you have to believe that Allah knows everything. And He creates, no one creates but God Almighty. Chapter number 61. What is the punishment for the picture makers? Okay. Now, God Almighty, Allah Azza wa Jal, He is the fashioner. He's the one who fashioned us in the best form. So to try to imitate his creation, that means you are trying to attribute to yourself a quality that is not yours. Are you following? God created me, so you try to imitate the creation of God. Think about it. You started to make an image of me, make this picture. Looks the same. You took the wax, exactly. If I stand next to mine, you cannot differentiate. So if you really has this ability to do it, make this picture also to talk and to speak and to walk. Are you following? Why God prohibited image makings or the pictures? Because you give yourself a right that is not yours. It's not yours to try to imitate the creation of God. That's why the Quran says, if the entire humanity, mankind, and the jinn try to create a fly, they cannot. A fly. Just a fly. They cannot. And I read why the fly. And they found what? The scholars said. They said the fly is an amazing creature. The thing that it takes it immediately gets assimilated in the whole body. If you catch the fly and try to remove, you cannot find it. It's not there. Already spread throughout the whole body of the fly. So, something that is you cannot do, and this is not your quality. You are not a creator. You are a creature. You are created. So this chapter talks about that. You understand now why? You cannot make images. This is one reason. Second reason, people, they start making images, and then they started worshipping the images. Instead of worshipping God Almighty, they start worshipping an image. They made it. Something you made with your hands, and then you start to worship it. Does it make any sense? And he said, this is my God. And that's why Umar used to laugh, right? Umar ibn Khattab, after he became a Muslim. He said, I used to have an idol to worship made of date. So when I get hungry, I start eating it. He eats his God, made of date. Imagine something you worship and then you start eating it. So when I am hungry, I eat my God. When I finish, I make another one. So my dear brothers and sisters, Islam came, and Islam is the message of all the messengers. Islam means submission to the will of God. That's it. Nothing more than this. God is one. He's the creator of the heavens and the earth. That's the meaning of Islam. So you submit to the will of God. Yes, God in heaven, I accept you as my Lord and my Creator. Any problem with this? Every human being knows this. Every little child has this built within himself. It's natural that God Almighty is the creator of the heavens and the earth. So, what is the punishment for the picture makers? Create an ant, or let them create a grain, or let them create a barley corn. Can a man create? No, you cannot. You, this human being, when you look, you are so complex, very complicated. But, see, Raise your hand easily here and here. Try to make the robot do like this. Understand? So you cannot imitate the creation of God. The reaction you get, how you react, all of a sudden you stop. All of a sudden you close your eye. Reflexive action. You're so complicated. If you just try to analyze yourself and reflect and ponder on your creation, that is itself will take you that, yes, God is great. He is my creator. Yes, sit down. Ask yourself, how do you see? How do you hear? How do you taste?